Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Wisteria Witches. I'm Kitty, and today we're going to be talking about haunted houses. And more specifically, we're going to be talking about how you can find out if your house is haunted. So, many people use their intuition when it comes to hauntings, and especially if you consider yourself a spiritual or witchy person, you might be able to walk into a building or a house and know automatically if there are spirits dwelling there, or even spirits that just pass by. However, if you haven't quite tuned into that part of your intuition yet, or if you're just uncertain or want some more logical evidence of a haunting, then you can follow some of the logic that I'll be presenting in this video. So, when you're trying to figure out if a house is haunted, you're going to want to examine things from a five senses point of view. Seeing, hearing, touching, smelling, tasting. So, the five senses. Okay, so like I said, the sixth sense we're ruling out at this point. We're going specifically with physical five senses evidence of a haunting. So the first one, seeing, sights. In a haunted house, you may see some things out of the corners of your eyes. You may see shadows that kind of dance by or flash by that don't seem quite right, that have no logical explanation behind them. Okay, you might see lights flicker on and off. You might see electrical devices flicker on and off, act crazy. The TV might go on or off, or switch channels. You might actually see a spirit or ghost, which if you've seen a spirit or ghost, obviously you're going to know that the house or the place that you're in is haunted. That's kind of an obvious one. Okay, let me think. Some other sights. That pretty much covers it as far as sights go. Now, the next thing we're going to be talking about is hearing. What are we hearing when we're in a haunted house? Well, you may hear disembodied voices. You may hear people talking at night. You may hear screams. Hopefully not, because that's a bit frightening. You may hear giggling. You may hear whispering. You may hear footsteps. You may hear doors open and shut at night. You may hear all sorts of different things. So my suggestion is if you're hearing or seeing these things, you should be writing them down to kind of take count of them, and specifically what time of night they're happening. Because if you find that it's happening at a certain point at night, you can look into why it might be happening as far as other logical explanations. And if you rule everything else out, then you would know that your house is haunted. Okay, so on to number 3, the third sense. Hearing, seeing, feeling. Okay, so if you are getting feelings of discomfort in a home or building that you might be in, and when I say feeling, this I guess would have to do with your intuition. If you walk into a place and you just feel like not right, like kind of icky or just an urge to leave, then that is a big sign that that place is haunted. Now, as far as actual senses, feeling, touch, you may feel someone, touch your skin. You may get goosebumps in a place that's haunted. You may feel someone stroke your hair gently. Hopefully you're not having any physical attacks, because obviously that's a major sign that your house is haunted and you might want to get it cleansed by someone. Sorry. Freaking myself out, I guess. Okay, so that's hearing, seeing, feeling. Now we're going to talk about smells. What would you smell in a haunted place? You're not always going to get this sense. Oh, one more thing as far as feelings. Cold drafts are a big thing with hauntings. if you walk into a place and you feel a random cold draft when the place is generally warm or should be warm, that's a big sign that the place is haunted. Okay, so back to smells. You may not always get smells with a haunting, but there have been many hauntings in which people do smell certain scents or aromas in the building. For me, I lived in a haunted home for many years, and one of the smells that I got a whiff of a lot was it smelled like maple syrup and pancakes. And there was no logical explanation behind it. There was no candles or incense or foods out or anything of the sort that would make that scent. And it would come at a very, very random times, even during the day. So that's a big sign if you're smelling something. Usually it's a very sweet scent. You might get a whiff of a floral scent. If you're smelling anything that is, for lack of a better phrase or word, that smells dead or rotting, you might want to look to see if there's not some sort of animal in the wall or in your ductwork that is causing the problem or the stench. Otherwise, that's another big sign of a haunting, and usually a sign of an ominous haunting, one that's not so good. So keep that in mind. You might also smell sulfur, which is something that I think they mentioned in that movie Constantine with Keanu Reeves, if anybody's ever seen that. That when demons are around, you will smell sulfur, or like something's burning almost. And first I want to say, if you smell something burning, please go check it out. Don't just put it off to the ghosts or whatever. But secondly, yes, that could be another sign that your home is haunted. And again, the smell of sulfur is not typically a good type of haunting or a friendly type of haunting. And so the last thing is taste. Now this seems like kind of an odd, I guess, piece of evidence for a haunting, but it can indeed happen. You might get a metallic taste in your mouth if there's an ominous or evil type haunting, negative haunting in your home. That's pretty much all I know as far as tastes go. And I have actually experienced that once before in a house that I did not like to live in that had some kind of negative presences within it. So that's all I have for you guys today. If you want to read more or learn more about how to find out if your house is haunted and gather some logical evidence behind it, then you can find it in the link that I'll post below. And if you have any questions at all, please let me know. I have a lot of experience with haunted houses. I've lived in at least 3 in my lifetime, 4 actually. So yeah, let me know what you think if you have any questions, and please feel free to share your stories on your haunted houses as well. Okay? Blessings.